Hi, everybody. Welcome to our yin practice. So this practice is going to be yin for the spine. So our spine, I don't really have to tell us how important our spine is, do I? But it is vital, vital, vital to our health, our wellness, and everything. We are going to start tonight a little differently in a supported fish. So in supported fish, you're going to take 2 blocks and you're going to bring one, you're going to make a T out of them. So the lower part of the T and then the upper, you're going to stack that T on your mat. And then you're going to bring your knees are going to be bent to start. You're going to bring your back down and your head down. Now you can play, this is why I said let's move our ponytails. So if you do have that ponytail, move it up or out of the way so your head can rest comfortably on the back. You're going to bring your arms out across into a T position. Now here in supported fish, I want to keep, let's just, because we're just starting, keep the knees bent and the feet flat on the ground, and then just bring your knees into each other. So a little teepee, let them support one another. Close your eyes. And let's just settle in. So let's pay a little bit of attention to our breath. But as I say, we pay attention to it. We're not going to judge it. We're just going to acknowledge it. How are your inhales? How are your exhales? Now, instead of how do you feel, I want you to think for a moment, a couple breaths, what do you feel? So do you feel the bottom of your feet connected to the ground, connected to the earth? What about your toes? Can you wiggle them? So what are you feeling through your body? We're here in our supported fish with our arms out, chest opening. So what do you feel? The next thing I want you to think about is, why are you here? Why are you on your mat tonight doing yin yoga right at this point in time? Is it to find some mindfulness, some calmness, some stillness? Is it specific to a certain muscle group? You want to open up your hips, your spine wants to get more fluid. Why do you come to your yoga mat? Now let's bring the knees back up towards the sky and walk your left leg long. Rock your right leg long and let your heels and your toes fall away from one another. So soften your cheeks and your eyes and your forehead and your eyebrows. Spend a couple of breaths thinking about just softening right through your face. And let's bring our awareness back to our breath. So can you be aware of your lungs filling up and your lungs emptying? Maybe you want to bring your hand on top of your chest, top of your ribs, or on top of your belly. And feel the rise and the fall of each breath. And on your next breath, we're going to bring the knees or the feet back to the ground with the knees back up. And you're just going to roll over. It does not matter which side, whatever side you intuitively want to go, roll over to it so that you can remove your blocks. And then we're going to bring ourselves up to sitting. And we're going to go into a seated butterfly. So in seated butterfly, a couple of options. One is for our hips. It's a hip and a lower back flexion. So sometimes we might want to bring our block and sit on it. That might give us a little bit more flexibility in the spine. Or you might want to just roll your yoga mat up just a tiny bit. Just a couple of inches of lifting those hips up off the ground will make a world of difference. Mm-hmm. So entirely up to you. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together. And I'm not sitting on a block. So I'm going to bring 2 blocks and I'm going to bring them underneath my thighs. Now I'm going to take a nice tall back. And as I hinge forward, I'm not going to reach forward with my chest or with my neck or my chin. I'm going to hinge forward just where my first edge would be. Where do I start to feel it, right? In my lower back. So with the yin, we want to give our bodies time. Right? We want to find that edge and then give it time and let our body invite us to go deeper. Some practices, sometimes we come on our mat, we're never going deeper. And right here is absolutely perfect place to be. Let everything soften. So let the elbow soften. So we do have some, opening up through those inner thighs. But as we're hinging forward, that lower back is getting the nice flexion. So we do want to find some stillness in our body. So we try not to rock or roll or move or wiggle or jiggle or scratch or itch. But once your yoga teacher says you're going to scratch or itch, you've probably got a tickle somewhere. Find the stillness. And if you're using blocks on your legs, the side of your thighs, they're really giving us that opportunity to feel supported. Take a couple more breaths and then just see if your body's inviting you, not pushing yourself. Listen to your body. Do you have space to come a little bit more forward, a little further down? But if you're clenching your body's, listen to it. It knows what's right and what's wrong, knows where we need to go. Yin is passive. Right? We're not in weight training. We want to put the muscles under resistance. We want to strengthen them. But in yin, we want to invite our muscles to open up, to get down into our fascia, our ligaments, and our tendons. Take one more breath. And then just come out of it about 20%. And then come out a little bit more. When we come out of these poses, we've just put our body through quite a bit. We want to come nice and slow. So bring your hands by your thighs, by your knees, and guide your knees back up towards the sky, feet flat on the ground. Bring your hands behind you with your fingertips pointing towards your glutes. And we'll just hang out here. And again, bring your awareness inwards. What do you feel? Okay, let's take both legs nice and long. Now, if you're on a block, I'm going to ask you to come off your block. If your mat's rolled up just a little bit, you can leave it rolled up. We're going to become caterpillars. So I want you to bring your hands by your side and then lift yourself up to bring yourself back so you're fully engaged on your sit bones. All right. Feet are nice and long. Our legs are nice and long in line with your hips. Bring your arms up towards the sky. Soften through your shoulders. Hinge at the hips. Drop the chest down. Reach the hands forward. But again, stopping right where your back says, hello, there's your back. Now we've got blocks. So we can bring a block or two in between our legs and create a little tower so we can bring our forehead down on top of it. And again, following those principles of yin, finding your edge, not pushing past it, not forcing it, finding your natural edge, and then finding stillness. And that's stillness physically as well as emotionally, psychologically. So perhaps finding a mantra. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. My back is getting stronger. My back is opening up, creating more space for me. And then that third principle is time. So we settle in, give our body the time, the respect, and the time that it deserves. So are you holding tension anywhere? Soften through your knees, maybe your toes and your ankles. We're at about the halfway mark. So has your body invited you to go a little further? So maybe if you've got the block stacked, maybe you move the block and you can reach further down. Maybe being the key word, it's important. All right, no matter where your head is, we're just going to lift the head off the blocks, move them out of the way. Keep bent over tiny little bit. Come up just nice and slow, maybe dragging your hands up across your thighs. Let's bend our feet and take our feet to the outside corner of your mat or outside of your mat, and let's just windshield wiper. But maybe if your body doesn't want a windshield wiper, maybe it just stays there. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of pulsing in your lower spine, your lower back. Maybe it's pulsing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we'll bring the knees back up. We're going to scoot the knees behind, our feet behind us and the knees behind us. Now, I asked if you had a blanket to bring a blanket. I've rolled, mine's folded in half and rolled. And we're going to bring our body down onto the ground. So blocks are going to be close by, all right? Blocks close by. Bringing your belly and your hips down to the ground. We're going to support our elbows onto our blanket. Okay, let the arms come forward. So we're coming into a little sphinx pose. So counterbalance for that lower back. Now, I want you to really, really think about what are you feeling right here. Acknowledge it. If that's really pinching that lower back, right, I want you to come right down. Drop the arms down. Maybe move your blanket forward and let the arms fall over top. So the back of my arms, my triceps, are on the blanket. However, Sphinx feels good for you. You're going to bring your forearms on top and hang out here. Now, as we get a little deeper, we're going to transition to seal, but you may not get to seal, and that's okay, right into Sphinx here. So we'll want to take a little moment here to talk about our neck. So check where your neck is. We don't want our head lifting up so we've got wrinkles in the back of our neck, nor do we want our head to drop. However, we can take a block and bring it either in front of the blanket or behind the blanket and drop our forehead onto it as long as it's supported. Okay, so that's the difference. Is we're not just going to drop our head. If we can support the forehead onto your block, you may feel a difference in your lower spine. Don't worry about your shoulders unless they're super, super, super tight. You can walk your arms further away. And let's see if we can go a little inward here. So soften everything. Feel your breaths connect to your mat, connect to the ground. Soften your jaw. Take a nice big swallow. Right, if you're extremely happy, content exactly where you are, feel free to stay there, or you can transition and move into seal. So in seal, we are going to take the block away from our forehead. We're going to straighten the arms and bring the hands out, pointing away from your mat. So you are pressing into your arms. Again, be respectful. This is a big, big back bend. We're not going to be here for really long. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. All right, walk those hands back in. And then we're just going to bring that blanket a little further up so we can bring our right cheek, left cheek, sorry, left cheek onto our blanket and drag your left leg up. So you're into like a little half frog. And let our spine on one side of our body back down. Take that leg nice and long. Switch cheeks. And drag the other leg up so it's just kind of in line with your hips. Take one more breath there. Bring that leg back in line. Take the blanket out of the way, and we're going to cradle our chin into our hands with our elbows underneath our body. Bring your toes towards, bring your feet towards your glutes and bring your toes to touch. And drop the legs down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and press yourself into a child's pose. So walk your, press your glutes down into your heels. Drop your forehead down to the ground and breathe. Take one more breath there. Then you're just come up for a second into tabletop to be able to bring both of your blocks in front. We're going to go into a melting heart. So want you to bring, so your knees are going to stay bent and your hips are going to be over top of your knees. That part of our lower body is going to stay in place. Bring your forearms onto your blocks. Slide them a little bit further, keeping your hips exactly where they are. I want you to reach your chest down towards the ground. Your forehead may come down to the ground. Arms are supported. Getting a stretch through the spine as well as through your shoulders. Take a couple of breaths. Melt your heart down towards the ground. Bring your right arm out and bring it alongside your body. Bring your left arm out and bring it alongside your body. So you've got two arms with the palms up, down towards the side. Round your shoulders. And just drag your hands back up. And we're going to push ourselves up, drop over to one side, and we're going to come back with our glutes back down onto our mat. Bring your blocks. We're going to go into a supported bridge. So roll yourself back down. Another nice shape for our back. You're going to, knees are bent, feet are flat on the ground. You're going to press up into your feet, lift your hips up towards the sky, and then bring your block. Now, depending on the intensity, I don't want to use intensity. I take that word back. On the amount of opening you want for your lower back is where you're going to position. So the block is coming to your sacrum. So you either want it on the flat side, or maybe you want it up a little bit higher. Feel both, see what it's in. We're going to bring our arms up overhead this time. So they're nice and long. And the back of your hands are kissing the earth. Feet are bent. Knees are pointing towards the sky. And we breathe. So really be careful that know that you put that block in the right spot. If you're feeling a pinch, it's probably not in the right spot. You want it on that tailbone, not on your spine. Take one more breath and feel free to stay exactly where you are or take your legs long. Just explore it maybe. Maybe say, hey, give it a try. You like it, you like it. Listen to your body. So that's one option. The other option is bringing the soles of your feet together and taking the knees away from one another. So back into that diamond shape. You're going to take the diamond shape. Why don't we make our arms into diamonds as well? Let your fingers fall towards the palms. Know that you can give totally in. The block will support you. Now, if your arms are in butterfly shape, diamond shape, sorry, let's bring them back nice and long, fingertips long. Your legs are in that butterfly shape. Take the legs nice and long. Got lots of length here. Get nice and heavy. Really give in and trust you can let everything go. We'll bring the arms back down alongside our body, nice and slow. Just drag them into a nice um, semicircle. Walk your feet back and knees bent. Walk your feet back towards your glutes. Press into your feet. Lift the hips up just to pull the block out. Leave the hips up towards the sky. We're going to drop super slow. So starting at the top of your spine, we're going to lower there. So 8 and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Try not to move. Savor the stillness in your back, in your spine, and in your body. Take one more breath. Now let's bring our knees into our chest and give ourselves a hug. So tailbone stays flat. You're realigning your spine along the back. Let's take our right leg nice and long. Bring that heel to the outside corner of your mat. Bring your left leg nice and long. Say to yourself, where is my blanket? Take a minute here to find your blanket. Cover yourself up. If you don't want to cover yourself up and you're warm, bring your blanket just across your belly and your hips. And wiggle in, wiggle your shoulders, wiggle your hips. Bring your arms along the side with the palms up. Soften your shoulder. Rock your head side to side. Little massage for the back of the head. Bring it back into a line. Take one big breath. Exhale. Say, I am at peace. Find a few minutes of stillness and quiet in our final Shavasana. Trust I will bring you back in a couple of minutes. So continue to be at peace.
Continue to sink, melt, and surrender. Now you can stay exactly where you are. Once again, you're in the privacy of your home. Or you can start to bring some small movements to your fingers and your toes. Maybe you reach your arms up overhead, point your toes, point your legs, give yourself a little stretch. Maybe a stretch and a yawn. Maybe roll over to one side using your bicep as a little pillow. If you're ready, and only if you're ready, bring yourself up to sitting. Any position that is comfortable for you. And let's bring our arms all the way up towards the sky. Join your fingers and join your thumbs and keep a little bit of space between your hands. Bring your hands down towards your face. Look through your hands into your heart. Bring your thumbs towards your forehead. Namaste. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for sharing your energy with me tonight. Most importantly, I'd like to thank you for investing in your spine and doing this beautiful, beautiful yin practice for your body.